Let's try and get an update now. Newzroom Afrika's Zola Sholwana is live for us in Randfontein. That's on Gauteng's West Rand. Zola, good afternoon to you. You possibly have just arrived in the area. Let's start with the number of those people injured. What are you hearing on the ground? And more importantly, is everyone accounted for? It almost seems like a thematic question from KZN to you now in Gauteng.
Well, Xoli, what I can tell you is that we are seeing a lot of devastation on the ground with a number of people that say they received calls at work from some of the residents that live in these apartments behind me, telling them that, there's a lot of destruction that is currently happening in their property and at a mall that is actually nearby. We haven't gotten the latest update in terms of the numbers of people that have been injured, besides the 20 that the mayor spoke about. But we are seeing Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi together with his entourage making their way in here to offer support to the residents who are left, devastated and traumatized by this particular incident. And if you look at the weather now, one wouldn't say that these residents experienced what we saw in some videos on social media about 2 hours ago. We are seeing personnel on the ground, those that are fixing power lines, because we understand that this has not only disrupted the properties, but only the infrastructure, as well around this area. I'm going to try and see, Xoli, if we can listen in, and what the Premier is currently saying to these gentlemen.
Oh. No.
Premier, thank you for your time. We see that you are here to offer support to these residents. I mean, a lot of them are devastated at this point.
No, we are devastated, but I just got a full briefing from our emergency services together with the executive mayor. We are putting some plans just to ensure that everything it's okay. It's difficult. The assessment is still ongoing, so they gave us the first preliminary report, and we are of the view that there are one or two things that need to be fixed. We've brought other support systems from the provincial government and neighboring municipalities, and we just want to be sure whether it will be safe for people to be here. From our naked eyes, it's quite clear that we might need to relocate some of the people. So we'll set up an emergency war room to check what are the immediate needs, so that those needs can be met if we can, both as local government and provincial government. But we'll definitely file a report so that we can ask for support from other spheres of government. So for now, it's just to assess and apply our minds and be sure whether those that are injured are taken care of. We are told that people that have been already taken to hospital, and we'll then deal with those that are here. But it's nature that is behaving in this particular fashion. Ours is to find a way of mitigating against its impact or effect.
Thank you very much, Premier. Before I let the Premier go, Mayor, just the latest on what's happening currently inside. Are there still people inside these apartments?
Yes, there are currently people inside, but what we've requested our emergency medical services to do is to make sure that they condone the area off, because structurally we have not really done the impact to assess whether the damage, how far can it go. So we are assessing, and once we have assessed, we'll be able to then move those people to other unoccupied houses within the estate.
Thank you very much for your time. While, Xoli, those were officials that are on the ground right now, just trying to assess the damage that has been done by this incident that has been reported and confirmed by the South African Weather Service. You heard the Premier there and the Mayor essentially saying that they will find alternative accommodation for those people who live in these apartments, those that have been injured and those that, have lost property property at this point due to what we saw at this moment. Of course, we'll be on the ground and monitoring the situation here, perhaps here if there will be any reports of other people that have been injured, because we see that structures have fallen on the ground, but we are seeing emergency personnel on the ground as well, just trying to check and see if there's anyone that's possibly inside there and injured. But from what we are seeing, Xoli, most of the people that have actually been impacted by this are those that live on, top floors of this particular establishment, and of course those that were on the ground, because we saw that the structure, some parts of the structure have actually collapsed at this point. I must say that there's still a lot of shock from the residents, as you have heard the Premier say, this is nature essentially. Nobody really prepares for themselves, rather, for such disasters. I mean, being at work and then you are called that rush home because the structure is about to collapse at this point, looking at how bad, the situation was just about 2 hours ago. Xoli, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments here in Randfontein. Back to you in studio.
Zola Sholwana live for us there in Randfontein in the West Rand. Thanks indeed for that update. Well, the Premier sounding as though there is going to be help coming the people's way there. He's talking about an emergency war room that will likely be set up, and so we'll see what that results in.